Hi, everybody. I'm Jennifer, and I'm with the Vreamery, and I'm so excited today here to be with Monica and Andrew of Nutcase Organics. They are the brains behind a really amazing whole food, oil-free, organic meat substitute, and it comes in different forms. And so, as I have mentioned in other interviews and with you guys as well, I have a personal affinity for the foods that are really whole food based and minimal oil and, not any of the seed oils. So I'm really excited to have this interview with you two today. Thank you so much, Monica and Andrew, for being here. And I'm so excited to hear about how you guys got started and what moved you to, because I know you guys are doctors. That's a really big side project, or I don't know if it became your full project or what, but I'm so excited to hear. So how'd you guys get going?
Yeah, so we started actually 2010. Andrew showed the kids Food Inc. They were like 10 and 13, and all of a sudden they didn't want to eat meat anymore. And we were like, okay, what are we going to do here? But we had always had an interest and emphasis on whole food, plant-based, or I mean, whole foods and organic and local.
Yep.
And so we were making a lot of our own, sausages and different things at that point. And so we just started crafting stuff. I was actually doing a clean diet for some back pain that I had. And so it was get rid of all the white sugar, get rid of, oils, get rid of fat, junk, flour, and that wasn't whole wheat. And it just, that's how we started with the walnuts, hazelnuts, brown rice, quinoa, and figured, okay, we can do some kind of substitute with this and then, what is the sausage? What is, it's just a kind of a meat alternative form that you add seasoning to. So then we were like, okay, we can do kind of a burger flavor. And then we have two breakfast sausages, the savory one, the Sophie Gold from the Specialty Food Association in
Congrats, that's big.
2024. Yeah, thank you. And then 22, we won for the nut roast, which is a pre-cooked, it's a bigger, it's 16 ounces, but it's pre-cooked. You slice it, or you can heat it up, mashed potatoes and gravy. So like, we had a lot of validation early on that we really were creating healthy, yummy products. And it's still kind of a passion project and swimming upstream in terms of just getting people to know to add more salt, add more oil. If you feel like, okay, this needs a little something, go for it. Add a little bit more of whatever you want.
Yeah, I love that.
We're pretty committed to keeping it clean. Actually, it's cleaner now than it was when it started because we had canola oil initially. So I used to make sausage. I'm Polish and French, and both my grandfathers are butchers. So there was a heavy meat emphasis as I was brought up. But so we sort of thought we needed the oil, and then it's like, no, we're just going to add. So we added more nuts, actually. So we increased the nuts, took the sesame oil out, added sesame seeds. And so it's actually a cleaner product now and lowered the sodium too. We had some feedback from health related, people with heart disease, hypertension, they wanted lower salt. So we've stuck to that, and we are, 1-to-1 ratio of carb to salt, which is really good. Plantricious certified, which is pretty unique. I think we're the only organic plant-based option out there, and then we're Plantricious certified too. So that's been sort of our emphasis, just to stay true to the brand. We're not going to pivot. We don't want to downgrade the product. We're going to just keep it.
To clarify that, your healthy product should have your milligrams of sodium should be equal to your calories. So
wait, say that again.
Your healthy product, your sodium, your milligrams of sodium, it should be equal to
the calories
or less than your calories per serving.
Okay,
so,
interesting.
Most of the time, it's 3 or 4 to 1. Yeah. So
some of our other burger makers, I won't name them, they do like a 4 to 1, so 40 milligrams per 100. So we're 1 to 1 or less.
Well, I appreciate that, it gives people the option. as it should, if you want to have more oil, and then you can one
Yeah, you
control
can.
the oil or salt.
Yep.
Like I tend to get I don't know if you've heard of this salt. I have two salts that I enjoy using. One is it comes from it's not sea salt, it's a Japanese kind of salt, and it's almost kind of got a pink hue to it. And it's significantly less sodium, but it's still just as salty. And then I have another one that's not a Kalanamook or whatever, but it's black, it's volcanic, and so it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
But you know, I think everybody's bodies are different and people's bodies respond differently to sodium. And you know, some people maybe it doesn't bother as much as others. So it gives people that leverage and freedom to be able to augment or add to the product whatever they want. And spice wise too, I think you can always kick it up with spice. So don't make it a 4 out of 5 on the spice level for people. Unless it's like clearly for the spicy people. Because you can always make it spicy more easily.
It's interesting, the spice levels, our
Absolutely.
chorizo, we're in Michigan, right? And so it's sort of a bland palate here, it's pretty sensitive. And so the chorizo, some people eat the chorizo and they say, oh, I just can't touch this. And then other people, you take it to, someone who's from Latin America, they say, well, this isn't really hot enough, so
Yeah.
it varies a lot. And even in couples, it varies a lot. So it's been a lot of fun though. We've had a lot of fun doing it.
Very cool. So why don't you talk about like you've mentioned you've got the chorizo and the breakfast sausage, your nut burgers, and then the roast. Don't you also have a ground?
We have a hot Italian crumble, sweet Italian
Uh-huh.
crumble, and then the
Well, those
chorizo
crumbles
those
cut-
are all, yeah, they're crumbles where it comes in a pack, but you can easily, it's sort of a texture of, it's a texture of ground beef, or
Uh-huh.
sausage, and you can just break it up and you brown it.
And how does
Yeah.
it hold up, say, like in a chili? Because that's
Holds up
one of our
great.
upcoming things.
It will, once, if you brown it nicely, it will hold up overnight. It holds up in the chili after you add it to the chili, and then it will hold up overnight. Like we do a lot of pasta with meatballs, or just brown it and add it to the marinara, and it will hold up. It softens a little bit, but does not break down. So it's
Yeah.
super tasty. It's just like sausage. Sausage sort of softens up when it's in a marinara over time.
Yes.
And it helps add more seasoning
Yeah,
to.
tastes great.
to,
Yeah.
But the key thing is
chili
I think the
into
key
the
thing is really
marinade.
browning it. You want to brown it. It takes it to the, I think, Maillard reaction, or just caramelizes the product a little bit, and then firms it up, and it tastes great. I love it.
Can you make the crumbles into a burger or meatballs?
You can do whatever you want.
Yes,
It's
And do you need anything to help congeal it, like maybe a chia slurry or
no,
anything?
no. The best, it goes through a lot of phases of like how consistency, but we work with it. If you're going to work meatballs and stuff, it's best at like room temperature, and it will form meatballs. You can add parsley, onion, whatever you want, and then you can brown them in the oven. You can fry them in a pan. So yeah, it's super. We make kebabs with the burger. So really super tasty kebabs. I used to make lamb kebabs, lamb beef kebabs, not anymore. But you can make jalapeno, garlic, fresh garlic, fresh ginger, cilantro, onion, parsley, and then often we'll put in a little bit of some of these Indian kebab spice mixes, and then you can just put them onto skewers, and you can skewer them and
Very
cook them
cool.
in the grill. Yeah, so it's super flexible.
Everything is refrigerated and freezable. Anything shelf stable?
Yeah, we have, so yeah, all 7 of those are frozen or refrigerated frozen for 18 months and refrigerated for 2 months unless open. And then we have our snack sticks, which are shelf stable. We have 3 flavors, the original, which is tamarind and smoky flavor. And then the Korean barbecue is mild, and then mango habanero is hotter. And so they all have mangoes and prunes,
Mango,
and then
prune.
yeah,
Dried apple,
pear,
dried
yeah,
pear
yeah.
in the
In the-
bulgogi.
yeah.
It's super
So
tasty.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I know
And
you
those
guys.
are shelf stable for a year. So
Yeah.
great.
Well, I remember because we had a nut roast and I was impressed at that time. It had it was a refrigerated product because this is back when we had our restaurant. We closed that last year. But I remember thinking, wow, that's a really long expiration. I appreciate that because, people can't always get to stuff.
Yep.
And I also like the crumbles because then people can infuse, like you're talking about with the ginger or different seasonings. If they wanted to make a theme kind of burger, they can put that in. and shape it and then cook that off as opposed to adding it as like a rub, you
Mhm.
know?
Local restaurants using our burger and they're making a Middle Eastern sausage wrapped in like a grape leaf. It's wonderful,
Oh, I
I
bet.
just use it's got some, sort of paprika and sort of savory spices in it, and it's super nice. And they just cook inside the grape leaf,
Not that I'm trying to put, like, say you don't have enough. It's a wonderful product line. Is there anything that you guys are imagining you want to bring on? Or like, what are your visions for the growth or development of new product?
Well, we do have a few things in the pipeline.
Yay.
I'd like to do a kielbasa.
That's
No
a
one's
leading
made,
question, obviously, because I'm
Oh,
selfish and want to know.
I think a kielbasa would be fun. A really good garlicky Polish sausage. That's what I grew up with. So, without the pork fat. And then we do make a nut butter as well that we're
You
working.
do?
Yeah, it's a knockoff on Nutella. So it's a
Uh-huh.
chocolate infused, cacao infused nut butter.
Is that
And
a shelf stable?
that will be shelf stable. And then we just are making it for ourselves right now to consume.
And you will let us know. I mean, that's one of my jams. I have to like slow down. Like I'm a chocolate girl and I'm really working sincerely to let go of sugar
Well,
and move towards, alternative sweeteners.
this is
But
good
that
stuff.
sounds like something right up our alley.
It's good.
Thank
It's, well, yeah, so it's walnuts, hazelnuts, the sesame seed, pepita seed, sunflower seed. Those are toasted. And then we
good
use,
for your
and then the hemp is
neurotransmitters.
in there as well. And then I use the cacao, and then I have some orange. Use orange rind or orange zest.
Yum.
Roast that a little bit. So it's chocolate orange, and then we use date to sweeten it. So
Terrific.
it's actually sugar-free. So it's natural.
Well, right, yeah, yeah.
But
no,
that's probably a couple years
yeah,
down the
yeah.
road here, but
Okay.
you guys will be the first.
Mhm.
Thank you. We're
Instead of
right.
on the air
We're in line. Want to be there.
Well,
So tell me, are you working out of a commercial kitchen or how, like, have you always had, I mean, you said you come from a line of people that have made sausages and things before. Did you have a culinary aptitude or training prior? I mean, clearly your medical has probably been all encompassing your life because that's a
Mhm.
big career. How much have you had in terms of training, or is this all you've self-taught, like a lot of us makers have been?
my school
Right,
was
yeah.
Elaine Maternowski Culinary Institute. It's
It
my
was
mom's kitchen.
All right.
But my parents got into food. It was interesting because I was thinking about this. They grew up pretty Midwestern and not pretty bland. But then there was a push in the 70s. They had a lot of friends that went to Cordon Bleu for like their week courses. So there
Uh-huh.
was a gourmet push in the 70s. My mom was using so much cream and wine and butter, it was insane. But
Very
anyway,
French.
yeah, oh yeah. So that was, we were instilled to learn how to cook though as kids. And so we did a lot of cooking. And then my dad, we would make the sausage at home. I don't hunt.
Are
but,
your kids part of Nutcase Organics?
Our daughter helps with some of the technical stuff,
Uh-huh.
but she's pursuing more of her own
Art.
sustainability and art. And our son's a teacher in Philadelphia, so he
All right.
teaches.
Okay,
Yeah, we
I
have
didn't-
our own facility though. We
Yeah.
do have our own facility. We
Yeah.
started in our kitchen. To sell, we had to be in a incubator kitchen
Yep.
that was state approved.
Mhm.
Got our organic certification there, I believe.
No,
No, did we wait till,
Oh.
maybe we waited till we got
we got certified by the state
certified by the
for
state to
selling.
produce.
Yeah.
Then we bought
Mhm.
a small factory that was being abandoned. So
Well, not
or-
abandoned, but yeah.
sold. So we bought a food like establishment. And then we have our own building now. So we're the only occupants.
Did you, because I know I did, how would you characterize the interest and momentum pre-COVID versus COVID and after?
I don't know.
It's been a challenge. Yeah, so we were actually doing quite well. We had some issues with packaging in terms of it was a different packaging machine. And then also we had quite good sales. And then with COVID, we lost some significant accounts. And so that was a real pullback and a big challenge. And so we got the packaging issues set. And then
Rebrand.
quality, and then the rebrand happened this past year. Yes, so Nutcase Vegan. Yeah, we just thought it was nice shorthand, but everyone's like vegan, this is really radical. It's like,
Vegan.
no, it's like it's just plant-based. It's not, this radicalized not, nonsense. So
Yeah,
that is really difficult. We thought more things would be organic by now. Also, so just the tidal wave of kind of copycat, other things that aren't that healthy,
Sorry.
and that's really just pushed the market. And yeah, so those were big
It was
challenges.
a challenge that we lost a lot.
Yeah.
We were probably in
Mhm.
20 restaurants, maybe even several out of state, and we lost every one except one restaurant. And then now
yeah,
we're back in 4 locally, which is nice. And then we'd ship to various venues. Orlando Convention Center buys our chorizo, so they use it. I don't know what they do, but they use
Yeah.
bulk mounts. So we do ship to more places now, but it's still slower. It's different. It's the
yeah,
restaurant business is different. And then current economy seems a little slow right now.
agreed.
I think
Yeah.
people are not buying. They buy when it's on sale. So we see an uptick, but we're well priced. We're $1 below or 2 below
Yeah,
on
I was
grams.
actually, when we were getting ready for this call, I was looking at our inventory and the products that we have. And Megan, I think I had shared with you that, we're going to do a video with the burgers. That's one of the reasons I asked you about how to cook
Okay.
them, or how to best cook it. And, I lost my train of thought on that
The
guy.
pricing.
But what I was going to say is that for me, I started making vegan cheese. So I'm in Paso Robles, which is between LA and San Francisco, and it's heavily wine country. And
Mm.
so, but the area itself is extremely ag centric. So we have a lot of cowboys. It's
Mhm.
very red and very meat and potatoes. And when I started in 18, I just started with some cashew cream and then like a meltable cheese I made using tapioca and kappa carrageenan.
Mm.
And I mean, we quickly moved from one farmer's market a week to 12 a week. And
Wow.
inside of
Yeah.
I don't know, 3 or 6 month periods. We were doing them every day. And on the weekends, it was 2 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday, or no, 2 Saturday morning, 2 Sunday afternoon. And it just exploded. And then by the time I saw this development being built, I thought, oh, it sounds so much better to just have a place and not have to set up and break down every day.
Yeah.
And so, of course, the place is being built. It's a big public market, and it opened in August of 2020. Well, I mean, it was just amazing how many people seem to be drawn towards non-animal foods because of COVID, that I felt like, gosh, had that not happened, I wonder what the state of at least vegan cheese, that's my world, more so than vegan
Yep.
meat. Although we sell more, like 80%, like if you look at all our best sellers, there's 9 meat and 1 cheese in the top 10. So people are wanting the meats right now. But at the time, I was really impressed and quite surprised at the demand in our community. And then also, so we started e-commerce in 23 as a pivot from the restaurant. And the number of makers that were doing this as a business prior to COVID, I could count us on one hand. And then after COVID, there's probably like, maybe 20 solid, reliable cheesemakers that we work with that, all were born out of COVID because people had time to
Oh,
do
yeah, yeah.
things that made their heart sore, or,
Yeah.
that I think it inspired people to look at what the food is that they're eating and what they're putting in their body. And
Yeah.
so it was interesting, I was wondering what your experience with the meat was, because I was seeing it from a cheese perspective, or my filter lens is from cheese. Today, it's crazy how much meat we're pushing.
Oh, insane. Yes, yeah.
You
Yeah,
mean real
The,
meat.
the real meat
Oh,
and collagen and, yeah, it makes no sense. Yeah. So, yeah, it's really frustrating. And sad, just
Yeah.
when you think about the deforestation, all of that for this nonsense, and just for these agendas that really are just trying to for people's bottom lines without being concerned really about health or yeah.
Yeah, you guys made a beautiful donation when we had Miyoko here for her book signing. And that was the culmination that was sort of not the celebration, but it was what brought our restaurant to completion, and we kind of memorialized that with this big fundraiser for a local sanctuary and using it as an opportunity to promote Miyoko and her book. Um and you made this beautiful donation to that. And, so thank you. And, we've seen kind of what you're talking about with what's happened with Miyoko, with that company that's not her anymore. Of course, we know that, but, and, it's just so interesting that when people are there for the right reasons and the more authentic altruistic reasons, those are the people that seem to prevail. When you start bringing in people that are really just about the money and they don't really care as much about the integrity of the ingredients and they're willing to compromise a value for a profit, it really changes things, and there are very few of you that are making vegan meat that are really super honest, like clean honest. I mean, that don't have these ingredients in it with maybe we don't know the impact long term of, I don't, I'm going to say methyl cellulose. I don't know what the history is on
Right.
what they can say about the impact on the body, but it's not something that you can just pluck off a tree and put into the burger like the ingredients you're using. So
And natural flavors.
yeah,
That's
right.
just a big box of you don't know what you're
Well-
getting, and they're addictive, and it can be like 150 things, and it's natural flavor, but it's
Yeah.
not really
I
anything
think the
that's
methylcellulose, pretty well, it's not good for your microbiome.
Yeah.
That,
Mhm.
so, but.
Do you think that your medical training facilitated your, because you have sort of a scientific mind, that helped you to figure out ways to make these products without those sort of things that make it easier?
I think our medical training made us stay diligent
Committed.
about really clean
Yep.
organic ingredients. So
Yeah.
that was and that was more of just a creativity thing where
Yep.
I had during this clean diet, brown rice, quinoa, those were things you could eat. And then we had been reading a couple books, can't remember, Karen from Chicago, and they have she was doing the nuts and soaking and different things. And so that
Yeah.
was where
Open things up.
The nuts, we
We-
just really just thought things out.
we
and
had talked to a
tinkered.
couple of vegan people, a cardiologist. He's like, how many food scientists
Yeah.
do you have on this? And we're
Yeah.
like, us. It's the us.
How
and
many
we're-
food scientists
yeah,
do you have on staff?
Yeah.
So I want to just give you the last opportunity, but because like Zoom's going to cut us off. Is there anything else that you can just like plug or say to bring this to completion before we get cut off?
Thanks so much.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
really enjoyed
Yeah.
chatting.
It's such a pleasure to get to talk
Yeah.
to you
Thank you.
and
Yes.
know that we're a resource, and we love sampling stuff. So if you ever need taste testers,
great.
we're your
Yeah.
girls and at the Reamery here.
Yeah,
And
lovely.
we just want to thank you for your support and for the good work that you're doing, both in your medical careers as well as your food career.
Yeah,
you.
thank you. You too.
Yeah.
Thanks so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah,
Thank you,
Super
guys. Have a
nice.
beautiful day.
you too.
Bye-bye.
All right.